Right, buddy, welcome back. Now, in this tier list, we'll be ranking not every single team, but some of the biggest teams in the world that's been provided on this tier list. And we'll go through and rank all of them, and you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll put them in three tiers, as you can see: GOAT, decent, or meh. Now, there are quite a few teams there to go through, and we'll have a conversation about them, and let me know your thoughts. And ultimately, this will probably determine who is kind of the biggest club in the world, but let's get into it. So, start off with AC Milan, they have to be in goal. Some of the players that they had, the trophies they've won, 7 Champions Leagues, up there with obviously Real Madrid are so far gone, but a lot of Champions Leagues, a lot of good players. When you look at, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Ronaldinho, R9, Rijkaard, Van Basten, maybe not as late, not as much. They still had decent players, but back then they have to be a team that's put in that GOAT tier. Unbelievable team, great players, great manager. Obviously with Ancelotti being there, and yeah, they've had a lot of good players. I don't know where they rank in terms of the best, but as of now, as the first team, they definitely are in GOAT tier. Now Hamburg, we have to put in meh. Listen, they were a Bundesliga team, mid-table. You'd say towards the end, they're not anything special. I'm not gonna say I know many players from there, so I'd put them in meh, to be honest with you. Bayer Leverkusen, you have to put them in decent. They've had a lot of good players. More recently, the likes of Kai Havertz, Wirtz, obviously winning the league undefeated under Xabi Alonso. They're a decent team. They've had good players. Obviously, they're not probably the maybe top 3, 4 big teams in the Bundesliga with Bayern, Dortmund, Leipzig. However, I would put them just below that tier, to be honest with you. So yeah, they're a decent team. Won a few trophies, got a few good players. I put them in decent. PSG, as of late, you have to put them in the GOAT tier. What they've done dominating European football for the last 2 or 3 years, it's been absolutely fantastic. The way in which they play football, with the confidence, the way they control games. They're by far the best club team in the world right now. You could argue they have the best player in every single position, bar probably goalkeeper, I'd say. Defensively, very, very good. They're adding trophies now. Enrique is a very good manager. Obviously, all the French leagues they've won, but the Champions League was the big one. And the fact that they've won 2 in 2 years, Luis Enrique deserves a lot of credit. They are a giant team. Like, you see people all around the world in PSG shirts. They're a GOAT team. Very, very good. Again, the players they've had: Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldinho, like Marquinhos, even now Dembele, Ballon d'Or. Like, they're just a very, very good team, and they can attract those big players. So yeah, top team, and I think they can win still a lot more yet. Marseille, you have to put in decent. Very good team. I believe they have won the Champions League before. Again, they've had some good players over the years, so I'm going to put them there. Bucharest, you have to put them in there. They're not a good team, are they? United have actually played them before, but yeah, you have to put Bucharest down in their tier for now. Celtic obviously have a bit of history about them. You have to put them in decent for that. I think they're a good team. You always see the sort of clashes they've had with Rangers. So yeah, I think they're a very good team. Now we get onto the big boy teams. Liverpool, as much as I'd hate to say, you'd have to put them in GOAT. As a Manchester United fan, it's not ideal me putting them there. However, they're a team that's won a lot of trophies. 20 league titles, 6 Champions Leagues. Very good team over the years, very good players. What they did under Jurgen Klopp was fantastic. What they did previously, very good team. Not the biggest team in England though, because I'll talk about them next. But yeah, Liverpool, GOAT team, good players, won trophies. If you're talking about size, you're talking about stature. Yes, you can argue they've only won 2 Premier Leagues, but European dominance, leagues, yeah, they're a good team. Manchester United, that is the best team in the world. Or not the best team, the biggest team in the Premier League, definitely. Multiple trophies. Not multiple, so many trophies won. 13 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues, many FA Cups, Carabao Cups, Europa League. There's so many trophies, and yes, where I'm at 18, I haven't seen United won as many trophies. I've seen a few Carabao Cups, a few FA Cups, and a Europa League. But if you look at the United team of late and what they won under Sir Alex, they were dominating football. They were playing great football as well. Very, very good team. Had one of the greatest managers in the world. And yeah, they're the biggest club in the world with Real Madrid, in my opinion. And that's actually not an opinion, that's actually a fact. If you look at the figures, the stats, the fans, the stadium is everything. And Manchester United, for me, Obviously, I'm going to say it, but they are the best club in the world. Manchester City, you still have to put them in GOAT. Obviously, yes, you can argue it's kind of similar to PSG in terms of recent history. Whether City have had some good players. I mean, the dominance they had under Pep, 4 Premier Leagues in a row. They won their first ever Champions League. Rodri picking up a Ballon d'Or, could potentially get another. Pep transformed that team. The trophies he won, as I said, more. I think it's like 5 or 6 Carabao Cups, 3 or 4 FA Cups. So yeah, the trophies they won, the players they had, the team that they built, the football that they played at that period from like 2017 to like 2023, 24, they were unstoppable, and yeah, very, very good team. So they have to be put in GOAT. Chelsea's another one. I know they're a Premier League side, and I put most of the Premier League sides in GOAT, or all the Premier League sides so far in GOAT, but they have to be in GOAT. You're looking at what they've won. They've won the Conference League, Europa League, multiple Champions Leagues, multiple Premier Leagues. They're very decorated, and that doesn't get talked about enough. Obviously, as of now, they're a team that's, you would arguably sort of, I don't know what they're building. You know, they keep changing the manager, similar to what United have kind of done, just with better trophies. I think when you're looking at Chelsea, they've signed prospects, they've signed experienced players. Let's hope it can gel for them. But from an unbiased perspective, I think, Morgan Rogers, very good signing that they've made. Lacroix, Xabi Alonso, see how he does there, but they were a GOAT team. All the players they've had, Hazard, Kante, Drogba, more recently like the likes of Cole Palmer, these are top level players, and what they did under Mourinho, I think they still have the record for the least amount of goals conceded in a season, so very good team. Sevilla, you have to put them in decent. Listen, they've won many European trophies, like most European, mostly being the Europa League, sorry. Decent team. When I've watched them against United and other teams, they're always a technically good team. They've had some good players. I put them in decent. Arsenal, I have to put them at the top of decent. The reason why I can't put them in GOAT, they haven't won a Champions League yet. They've not, it's only recently where they started to properly build something up into with Arteta. I think if they got a few more signings, they'd look very, very good, and they look like serious contenders to win the Premier League and the Champions League for the first time, and the Premier League again. But yeah, they've still got a long way to go. I mean, you look at sort of the trophy cabinet of the teams up there, very, very good. Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, Cups, everything. So yeah, you have to put Arsenal in decent just based off they haven't won the Champions League. I mean, if you want to go off that, Spurs will have to go into decent as well. Not the trophy cabinet of many clubs. They've won a Europa League. That's really about it. In the last 10 years, that's 10, 15 years potentially, that's a big trophy. Definitely in my lifetime, it's the biggest trophy I've seen them win, and it's flipping fury, and it was United that gave them that. But yeah, they're a decent team. Same with Newcastle, being in the Premier League for many years, looked like they were building something with the takeover, hasn't really materialised for whatever reason. Obviously won the Carabao Cup, which was a big trophy for them at the time. I do definitely think them losing players, like they've lost Isak, they lost Gordon, they're looking like they're losing Bruno Guimaraes, they've lost Tonali. They're a selling club, and ultimately they need to recruit well in order to get back, because there was a point where they were in the Champions League, they were high up in the Premier League, they were playing very, very well, and the road's a difficult team to come up against. But yeah, I'm going to have to put them in decent. Atletico Madrid, again, decent. Don't believe they've won a Champions League. Obviously Simeone's been there for many years. Just a hard team to play against. They're a decent Spanish club. They've won a few La Ligas in the time. And yeah, put them in decent. Dortmund, I mean, again, decent. Won a few trophies, Bundesligas. Had a lot of good players. Actually, if you think about it. Marco Reus, Dembele, Isak, Aubameyang, Haaland, Sancho, Bellingham, Lewandowski's been there. They've had a lot of good players. So yeah, I'm going to put them in decent. Juventus, again, they'd be decent as well. Again, you're looking at those clubs there at the top that have dominated football for many years. You can't really put Juventus in there, in my opinion. Not quite yet. I don't think they've won a Champions League. So yeah, you'd have to put them in decent, to be honest with you. So yeah, if I look at sort of Juventus, the players they've had, obviously they got close to obviously winning the Champions League. in 2017, but yeah, they've won European titles, but never won a Champions League, so you have to put them in decent. Bayern Munich, you have to put Bayern Munich in goal. I think they've dominated German football for not millions years, but many years. You're looking at a team there that's had probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world for the past 10 years. You look at how many times they've won the Bundesliga, it's ridiculous if I tell you now. So they've won 35 Bundesligas, it's unbelievable. In the last 10 years, I don't think they've lost on the Bundesliga once. Ridiculous team, ridiculous managers that they've had over the years, and great players as well, so they have to be in goal. Barcelona, again, have to be in goal. Had the best player in the world in Lionel Messi, the trophies, the stature of the club, the history that they have, top team, Champions Leagues. They're just an unbelievable club. Real Madrid, again, they have to be in goal. I think by fact they are the biggest club in the world. A lot of players dream about playing for Real Madrid. A lot of players have obviously had that dream. Ronaldo, Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, more of late, Vinicius Junior. Looking like Yan Diamande is going to be going there. So they do have a lot of good players, a lot of big players. The Galacticos, very good team. The dominance they've had in European football. 15 Champions Leagues won is outrageous. And yeah, they've had some of the best players over the world in their team. So they're probably the biggest and best team in the world. Napoli, you have to put them in decent. Again, obviously their main player being Maradona, but again they've had decent level players. Haven't had that probably European pedigree yet, but I think they can. Hopefully, I don't know if they can get there. In Lazio, you have to put in there, and then Inter Milan, I think decent, to be honest with you. Now, let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.